We are headed north on SR 79 toward Warner Springs, a small community in northern San Diego County, California. The town has a post office and it is near the Palomar Observatory and Warner Springs Ranch. Back in the day, Warner Springs Ranch, a no-frills resort about 2 hours southeast of Los Angeles, was an escape for the likes of Clark Gable, John Wayne, and Charlie Chaplin, who fled here to soak in the legendary mineral pools, ride the endless horse trails, and gaze into the starry, starry night. Author F. Scott Fitzgerald retreated here to work on The Great Gatsby, shaping his famous book about the excesses of the jazz age against the backdrop of this one-time stagecoach stop. Think of Warner Springs Ranch as they did. Rehab from your increasingly frantic and demanding life.
To think about it was like a movie.
It's a very unique community. The last place you'd expect.
In 1830, John Trumbull Warner left Connecticut and headed to California, joining a trading expedition headed by famed mountain man Jedidiah Smith. Warner passed through the Warner Springs area, known then as Rancho San Jose de Valle and Temecula, in 1832 on his way to Los Angeles. John Warner met and married Anita Gale, who had been raised as a ward of the widowed mother of Pio Pico, who would later become the governor of California under Mexican rule. Warner became a naturalized Mexican citizen and changed his name to Juan Jose Warner. In 1844, Warner applied for a land grant that awarded him ownership of the 48,000-acre Rancho San Jose de Valle and renamed the area Warner Springs. Here, he established a successful cattle ranch under the name Warner Ranch at the intersection of the road connecting Los Angeles and San Diego to Yuma, Arizona. By 1849, John Warner operated part of the ranch to serve the travelers on the Gila River Immigrant Trail, part of the Southern Trail, and opened the only trading post between New Mexico Territory and the Pueblo de Los Angeles. In 1851, the Cupeña Native Garra Revolt, raid on Warner's ranch occurred, a part of the Yuma War against immigrant intrusions. Warner's ranch and trading post were burned down by the Indians, who were protesting government taxation. Warner left and never returned. The ranch later became a stop on the San Antonio-San Diego Mail Line in 1857. The Butterfield Overland Mail stagecoach line established the Oak Grove Butterfield stage stop at the ranch in 1858 and rebuilt the demolished buildings. At the start of the Civil War in 1861, stagecoach service was discontinued and the Army established Camp Wright, a cavalry outpost at the ranch to protect the route from Southern California to Fort Yuma. Former California Governor John Downey purchased the ranch in 1880 to graze his cattle and sheep herds. In 1892, after years of disputes with the Cupeña living at the ranch, Downey sued for an order to evict the Native Americans from the ranch. The eviction order came in 1901, and their exodus 2 years later became known as the Cupeña Trail of Tears. Their belongings were piled into horse-drawn carts, and the tribe was relocated to Paula Reservation, approximately 40 miles away. William Henshaw purchased the Warner Springs Ranch in 1911, and Henshaw Dam was completed by 1922, and its reservoir filled by 1924. All of this turned into Warner Springs Ranch Resort that first opened in the 1920s and became a favorite vacation destination for thousands from all around Southern California. The ranch grew slowly during the last century, gaining a golf course, dining, and dance halls and more cabins. After various ownership changes, it became a collectively owned property operated much like a country club. Its 1,300 owners didn't own the individual units, but had first dibs on reservations for any of the 240 cottages. 3 pools offered famed mineral baths and freshwater swimming. Around 2011, with its homeowners association mired in bankruptcy, the historic Warner Springs Ranch Resort closed its doors, and more than 4 years since, a San Diego hotel group bought the property with promises to restore it. The golf course, restaurant, and convenience store have reopened, but the main resort remains shuttered. The hot springs that attracted tourists for generations remain dry, and all but a handful of the 250 casitas and the main lodge are in disrepair. About a year ago, the first cottages built in 1911 have been remodeled and reopened near the front gate of the resort for golfers who desire to spend a weekend there. The Cupeña people were longtime indigenous inhabitants of the Warner Springs area. The Cupeña Cahuilla Agua Caliente Ranchera village was located at the hot springs located on land here. The St. Francis Mission Chapel was erected near the settlement in 1830. Its walls use adobe mud bricks, whitewashed over a roof incorporating locally made red tiles. A stone bell tower is placed next to the southern wall of the church. The Chapel of St. Francis of Assisi on SR 79 and Stage Road is one of the few remaining mission chapels still serving a primarily American Indian population. This mission chapel is of tremendous historic significance. This location is considered the beginning of the Trail of Tears.